knowing that this is a lifestyle change that you have to make, but understand the moment that you do fall off or the moment that you do have a bad season, you can get back up, wipe yourself off, and you know exactly what it is that you need to do. That's different than yo-yo dieting.
This podcast is all about authentic conversations. It's all about growth, love, respect, success, mind, body, and spirit. If you're looking to grow and expand in your life and become your authentic self, this is the podcast for you. Hi, guys. This week's guest has courage. She has gone through quite a few things within her lifetime, and she was able to persevere and move forward. She's now a body activist. She is a health enthusiast and a curvy woman entrepreneur who is changing people's minds about health perceptions one woman at a time. She is also an author. She is also a podcast host of 12 Steps to the Body of Gold. The book also has the same title. Please welcome Farah Green to Authentic Talks. Hi, Farah. Welcome to the show.
Yes, Shanta, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm really excited to have you here because you are doing something that makes us feel good and helps us to understand our self-worth and all about self-love. So you are a body activist, speaker, exercise nutrition coach, and you're the founder of and CEO of Thick, Bold, and Healthy.
Yes, I created a movement called Thick, Bold, and Healthy, basically to help women embrace their curves and master their health through body positivity, wellness, and nutrition. And so through my company, we have various products. Our two main products right now are the book, 12 Steps to Your Body of Gold, which is kind of like a spinoff from our podcast called the Body of Gold podcast. And also we have the Curvy Girl Tea collection, which is a collection of like body positivity sayings on shirts and sweaters and things like that. But outside of that, I also do one-on-one nutrition and fitness services with some of our clients. And later on this year, we'll be launching our app called Everything Plus later this year. So on that app, we will be able to create a community of women who are really there to support each other through their health and wellness journey, along with several other products that will assist people throughout their journey. I created this movement to empower women to just live life, be better, live better, and not really worry about the number on the scale.
Farah, I'm actually excited about that. Good job, girl. Good job. I love it. Can we talk about your book?
The book is called 12 Steps to Your Body of Gold. Last year, I had launched a podcast called the Body of Gold podcast. And basically, our podcast is all about learning about the body, wellness, nutrition, confidence. Like we talk about an array of things as it relates back to your health and your well-being and how you see yourself regarding like your body image. I decided to create the 12 Steps to Your Body of Gold book, which is the ultimate guide to embracing self-love and mastering your health. The reason why I decided to create this book is because I found a lot of times that when we go along these health and wellness journeys, we often get very discouraged when we go along the health and wellness journey because we're just giving like a nutrition plan or fitness plan, or we honestly just don't know where to start. And so a lot of times we get so upset when we can't reach our goals, when we are not sticking to them, and we just feel confused on really what's good for our body and what's not good for our body. So I decided to take a more self-love approach with this book because what it really stems from and the reason why we have a hard time sticking to our goals and accomplishing them is because we're so focused on the weight loss mentality versus the champion mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And so the champion mentality is really someone who's like, I'm not going to stop living my life just because of my, and they're going to take their health one step at a time and really figure out what's bothering them. Why is it that they can't accomplish what they want to accomplish? So the 12 steps take you along the journey of really finding out who you are, really figuring out what's right for your body, kind of connecting the dots of like your past to your present when it comes to your health and wellness journey, and then helping you create a nutrition and fitness plan that will actually fit your lifestyle versus you receiving one and trying to fit that plan into your lifestyle already. So there's two different sides to that, and oftentimes we are trying to take a plan to accomplish it and push it forward, and it doesn't fit our lifestyle. So the book will help you find a plan that actually fits your lifestyle, and you're responsible for creating it.
I'm gonna have
Thank
to
you.
get that book.
Yes. Yes. I get a lot of feedback, and I really open up too, like, about my past and my family history, and how, I really truly feel like my purpose on this earth is to break the generational curses of chronic disease, especially among other families as well, especially among the Black community.
Wow, that's awesome.
Thank you.
I was reading someplace that you actually did several marathons in the same year, and I think I heard it
Yeah.
on your podcast.
Yes. So, okay. So, I just to like backtrack a little bit. The year of 2017, I went through like a major deep depression. It was from probably the middle of towards the end of like 2016 to the year of throughout the whole entire year of 2017. And so during that time, I was living in Seattle, Washington, and I was going to work every day, and I would have like breakdowns. I would have suicidal thoughts. I would cry myself to sleep because I was just so miserable and I wasn't happy with what I was doing. On top of that, if you know Seattle, Seattle is like the state of Washington, period, actually has the highest rate of suicides when it comes to suicides. And so it
Mm-hmm.
has something a lot to do with the weather, yes. But for me, it wasn't just the weather. It was the fact that I was going to a job that I hated every day. I was working with people that I disliked. I didn't have a support system. I was in a new environment, was unfamiliar with everything. And I would wake up every day at 6 a.m., run to the gym, do a HIIT workout, circuit training, and run back. And during that time, I was also trying to plan my dream wedding, and I couldn't lose not 1 pound. So is like, imagine your mind and your body is having this physical fight. They're literally fighting each other day in and day out. Mentally, you're exhausted, but physically, you feel like you have something to accomplish, but you can't get there because you're not mentally right. And so I really had to step back and figure out what was going to be something internally that I can accomplish. What is something that I can do to better my health, and look at myself and say, Farah, no, regardless of what size you are, you should love yourself wholeheartedly. And you
Mm-hmm.
should be confident with the woman that you are today because you done a lot of the work already. It's just now finding balance between adult life and career and love. And so it's like how to figure out that balance. And so I ended up moving out of Seattle, Washington, and I ended up moving to California. After I moved to California, that was it for me. I remember sitting on the side of my bed and I was telling my husband, I was like, look, I have to do something where I just can't focus on my weight. The number on the scale isn't enough for me to lose weight. That number don't motivate me to do nothing. To be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't. So I
And
had
we're
to
not all built
dig
the
deep.
same.
Yeah, and we're not all built the same either. So I had to really dig deep, and I said, what is one thing that I can truly focus on to just better my health and just to be this well-rounded person and work on the woman that I want to become. And so I ended up focusing on running. Running became my outlet. And so the year of 2019, I ran 10 5Ks and 10Ks. And beginning of 2019, I ran my first half marathon. And it was like a relief. Like, I did this. My body did this. I can do
Wow.
this. And so basically, that's honestly where the 12 steps to the body of gold book stems from, is the 12 steps that I took to better my health as a whole. And now that I accomplished that, I feel like I'm on to chapter 2 in my health and wellness journey. And now I'm looking to weight lift and power lift because that's my outlet. Competing is my outlet in order for me to feel like I'm better in my health
Mm-hmm.
versus just solely trying to lose weight.
Basically, the number on the scale doesn't mean a thing.
Yeah. So A lot of people feel as though like they're defined by the number on the scale. They're defined by how much they weigh. So
Right.
a woman that's like a little bit over 200 pounds, but maybe 5'3", 5'4", but she's very shapely. And so she doesn't look like she weighs that much,
Mhm.
is different versus from a woman who's 5'8" and a little bit over 200 pounds, and she's also shapely, but she just carries her weight differently, and vice versa. And so a lot of times we get so consumed with, oh my gosh, this number isn't going down, but we're really not looking at ourselves in the mirror, naked,
Mm.
because there's parts of you when you look at yourself in the mirror that you absolutely love, and there are parts of you that you may dislike and that you may want to change, yes. But the thing is, you have to love yourself through the process. A lot of times when I'm working with clients or just doing my workshops, I always hear like, I will start loving myself and start being confident after I lose the weight. And it's like, well, how do you expect to lose the weight? Like, you got to start loving yourself now. Finding your
Mhm.
in between starts now with you loving yourself wholeheartedly, and with you looking in the mirror and being like, this is who I am. This is me. I'm loving my curves. Yes, I could lose my stomach. Yes, I could lose the flab under my arms. Yes, I can lose the back fat. I want my waist to be snatched. But you know what? I'm going to focus on loving me and just focus on bettering myself as an individual, having this confidence to where nobody can't tell me nothing when I walk in a room, and no
Mhm.
negative comment will affect me to a point where I start getting depressed about myself. No, this is who I am. I am, Shantae. When I walk in a room, people better know who I am. I'm confident, I'm strong, I'm bold, I'm powerful. And that's it. Don't nobody say nothing to me. And then you can go on and be like, okay, this is what I need to do to better my health. And then you will start having actually the confidence to do something towards bettering your health versus being sad and not doing anything.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Absolutely. I love that you ran the marathons and you know that you have it in you to do it. And I love that you understand that size is, it doesn't matter. I mean, the scale, that doesn't mean a thing. I know
Yeah.
someone, a couple people who went and they got, their mindset was in a different place. They went and they
Hmm.
got a procedure done and felt the same way after they had the procedure done. Even though they had a
Yeah.
flat stomach, they still were in that place. And I love the
Mentally.
fact
Yep.
that, yeah, you got to do mindset work when,
Yeah.
because sometimes it's not even about the scale, it's something else that they're dealing with. It's about what a man
Yep.
thinks about them. It's or the way that the man is treating them, or it's about like some stuff where that stems from when they were a child or a teenager, where they were
Yep.
made to believe that they were unattractive, and they're carrying that backpack of somebody else's weight and energy on them.
Yep.
So yeah,
Exactly.
this is
Exactly.
amazing what you're doing. I absolutely love it.
Thank you. I really appreciate that because, I've had clients where we've worked one on one, and they start crying. They really start tearing up, and you would think, as a nutritionist, you would think that your job is like to solely just give your client a plan of what to eat and what not to eat. But a lot of this stuff is has emotional connection to it. There's a reason why,
Yep, absolutely.
our health is actually not in a great space, simply because of what happened as a child, simply because of what might have happened in a past relationship. And it's true. And what I often tell people is that I'm kind of like your health therapist in a sense, because I'll sit there and I'll ask you about your childhood, and then I'll ask you questions about your adulthood, and we can have a conversation, and I'm connecting the dots for you. And then all of a sudden I get the person that has finally, kind of like saw the light and be like, wow, I didn't know I do X because of Y during my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of like helps them connect the dots and see their past trauma is really like affecting the current status of their health. And so now I come in and it's like, okay, now that we've connected the dots and now that you had a breakthrough, how can we then take your health to the next level? And oftentimes women are coming to me saying that they want to lose weight. Honestly, I tell them that's great, that's fine, that's dandy. I'm happy. We can definitely do that. But that's not what we're going to start with. I'm going to start with what's going on with you internally, and then
Mm-hmm.
we'll progress from there.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
we end up right back in the same position.
Yep.
We gain it
Yep.
all back. And I know for myself, I had tried so many different diets, and I went through a phase where I was exercising like crazy. I
Mhm.
did end up losing a lot of weight, but
Mhm.
I wasn't happy because when we would go out to eat, I was very limited on what I could have.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get to a point in my life where I could eat what I wanted when I wanted
Yeah.
and not have to just say, give me a salad. And so it felt good to get to
Yeah.
that. I wanted
Yeah.
to eat a steak
It's
too
no, I definitely
back
feel
then,
you
you
on
know.
that. No, I 100% can understand and relate because let's be real, like life hits us all. And the one thing that I'm really outspoken about is I tell the people that I teach, I tell my clients that I teach, and I tell them I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at all. Like the woman that you saw, a year ago that was like running 5Ks and 10Ks and things like that, and I was like in the best shape of my life, is still the same woman, but now I just have different goals. And in between that time span of me then figuring out my own path, I've definitely put on a few more pounds. But once again, I didn't let that deter me from the end goal, which is for me to start weightlifting and to start competing again. You know what I mean? So I think that there's going to be times where life just hits you hard and you feel
Mm-hmm.
like you don't know what to do. And honestly, sometimes it's not even the fact that you may be binge eating. It may simply be the fact that you're stressed. And
Mm-hmm.
because the fact that you're stressed out, anything that you do eat is just going to sit on you because you're just constantly carrying that extra weight of stress, and you have no outlet and you have no relief. And
That's true.
so that's what I want to say. Like it is not so much about, I have to be this perfect person all the time. I have to eat a salad all the time. I can't enjoy desserts. I can't enjoy life. Like it's not about that. It's really about knowing that this is a lifestyle change that you have to make, but understand the moment that you do fall off or the moment that you do have a bad season, you can get back up, wipe yourself off, and you know exactly what it is that you need to do. That's different than yo-yo dieting.
That's
I
right.
think yo-yo I think yo-yo dieting and the fact that life just hit you hard and you just fell off the wagon for a few months and now you need to get back up. you know certain habits you already adopted. Certain healthy eating habits you already adopted over time, and those still stick with you. Those are still, you know within you, but you're not necessarily trying to yo-yo diet. And so I kind of want people to understand the difference too between yo-yo dieting and when life just hits you. And so um
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just need people to know that life is
Yeah.
hard. And when you
Mm-hmm.
pack on that extra weight, don't be too hard on yourself. And know that when the next season comes, when it's time for you to pick yourself back up, you can absolutely do it. And don't let anyone tell you different. And don't let anyone judge you differently either.
Farah, I have to tell you, I tried to go vegan and I did it for about 7 days and it was not too bad. I actually had a lot of energy. I just wasn't equipped with meal preps or had bought enough food to make it through. And so after I did the first 7 days, I did extend it for about another couple weeks. So I want to say I went a total of 3 weeks. But then, like I said, I needed to have more things and I wanted like chicken because I love wings. And so that's what ended up breaking it, was I got a smell of those wings. And I had to tell myself, on a few days that I was on the vegan diet, to calm down. I was like, calm down, get it together, girl, calm down, because I was wanting to just burst inside of a wing stop or a place and get those wings. So
Take your time, calm down. Like, you don't have to have instant results. Pay attention to your body. Pay attention to what foods it likes and what foods it don't like. And from there, I was like, you know what? I really want to transition again and really want to be plant based for the rest of my life. But in order for me to be successful, I have to start somewhere. So I said, I know for a fact I can cut out chicken, I can cut out steak, I can cut out turkey, I can cut out beef, like I can cut out all that stuff for the most part. But I had an issue with cutting out seafood because I do love seafood. So I said, okay, I can cut out all this stuff. And instead of me going cold turkey into plant based, I'll be pescatarian.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, all I eat is like tilapia, salmon, shrimp, scallops. Like I only eat seafood for my protein, and then I'll have vegetables and my carbs, maybe brown rice, sweet potatoes, rice. I do jasmine rice, different things like that, and then I have my vegetables for the most part. So like earlier this week, honestly, I had shrimp with mixed vegetables and a little bit of grits because I do love grits. So I had a little bit of grits. But again, you can make plant based grits. That is a such thing. Um, but like I said, it's just all about transitioning, transitioning slowly. And then I told myself I'll start doing recipes twice a week, not twice a week, twice a month on Instagram because I cover so many different topics through my social media. But one of the things that I want to get into and start showing people is the fact that, instead of having pancakes, have oatmeal pancakes. So I just did a video shooting like me cooking oatmeal pancakes. And so it was very simple. It was a very simple recipe. It's oatmeal as a carb, but it's filled with a lot of fiber. And you
Mm-hmm.
can be able to go to the bathroom and not feel constipated. And you can still make it sweet how you want it to be. I just think that's what it comes down to is just really knowing your body. And if you want to try it again, if you love wings, definitely try cauliflower buffalo wings.
Oh,
Or
you
if
had
you
those
just want to,
before?
I've cooked them before too. Yeah, they're really good.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so you could try cauliflower buffalo wings. You could also do plant based like meat. So like tofu or like plant based sausages or plant based burgers. I think it's called Beyond Meat. So you can try some of those things to help you transition as well. Or you can also try just being pescatarian and moving from that point into solely doing plant based. Because
Mm-hmm.
you gotta start somewhere. And honestly, cold turkey is just not the way to go because you end up crashing and burning in the end.
Mm-hmm. I think I
So I
will
hope that
try
was
it.
helpful.
Absolutely. It was very helpful. I appreciate it. Like
No
to the
problem.
core. And I think I will try it again because I did feel good.
There's tons of recipes out there, and that's honestly why too I want to like really get this app launched and going because it will have a whole bunch of recipes from plant-based to pescatarian and stuff, because I think people just have a hard time finding them or don't really know what to look for. But really, what I always tell people is try to think of like your favorite meals. So if you try to think of your favorite meals that you love to eat throughout the week, look your favorite meal up and just Google plant based. So if your favorite meal is spaghetti, just Google plant based spaghetti. If your favorite meal is like steak and potatoes, Google plant based steak and potato recipe. If your favorite meal is grits, Google grits plant based recipe because it's there. It's there. So I would say, just jot down a list of meals that you usually eat throughout the week and then
Mm-hmm.
Google those meals and add the word plant based, and then there should be a recipe that comes up. I wouldn't see why not.
Wow, that's awesome to know. I was
Yeah.
not prepared. But you know what? I appreciate you sharing with me because I think that I can try it again and be successful. I think I would be
hmm
that person, Farah, that would go weave in and out. Where
Yeah,
I,
and it's the crazy thing is it's okay to weave in and out. So like one week, let's say you have meat only 3 times that week, and the rest of the week you've had plant-based meals or only pescatarian meals. It's totally fine to weave in and out. And you weaving in and out, once again, that's not yo-yo dieting. It's not yo-yo dieting. You're trying different things to improve your palate and to improve your health. That's it.
I like that advice or
Problem.
that statement.
Yes.
Do you believe that we are all built differently?
Yeah.
And I know that, like, for me, I feel my bones and my body is just thicker, and I'm okay with that. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like sometimes when I go to the doctor that they're comparing me to a frame that is impossible for my body to be at. Like, I think they're telling me that I
Yeah.
need to be at 135 pounds, but I don't look healthy even at 150 pounds.
100.
You,
Yeah, I
I,
think, yep,
I found
I
myself
totally
saying,
understand.
I had lost all this weight and I gained weight back because I didn't like how I looked at that size. But according to them at the doctor, I still needed to drop another like 30 pounds or something. I'm like, I'm going to look sick. So
Yeah.
yeah, my
Yeah.
body is
No,
comfortable at a thicker weight, and I do believe
yeah.
that the scale is just not important. It's about how I feel on the inside, and it's all the things that
Yeah.
you represent is so real.
Thank you. No, thank you. I really appreciate that because for years I've battled with my weight. Since being a teenager, I've battled with my weight. I've done plenty of diets, worked out plenty, just plenty of times being 2 hours, 3 hours in the gym trying to get through a workout. Was late, and I was like, this is, I can't keep up with this. Like, this is not a lifestyle that I really want to live. I want to be in the gym and out. And so even when it comes back to your frame and the doctors and stuff, the thing about it is that when you're a doctor, doctors usually don't have time to really sit down and give you a whole health plan. What they're in there for is to check you, give you your results, say you need to fix this, you need to change that, and just be in and out. Versus a coach like myself, a nutritionist like myself, or a health coach or wellness coach or whoever, they actually sit down and connect the dots for you and try to better your lifestyle. And so you mentioned something, you said you felt like you have thicker bones, and I'm totally fine with that. The truth of the matter is that every skeleton is the same. Every skeleton is the same as far as our bones. Like, there's no thicker bones than the other.
Oh, girl,
What
I
it
just
really
learned
comes down
something.
to, what
I'm serious. Wait a minute.
yeah, what it really comes down to is your body type. And a lot of people don't know their body type. And so that's why we're so confused as to why certain foods work for this individual, but certain foods pack on weight for myself. So I'll just break it down for you and give you guys a quick example. There's three different body types. You have the ectomorph, the mesomorph, and the endomorph. And I explain this so many times because I feel like it's so important. The ectomorph is someone who's very slim, very skinny. Their metabolism is usually always high. They can eat whatever they want, and oftentimes they do not gain a pound. Their body usually maintains their weight, and they need carbs to fuel their body, and they use that as energy, right? Mind you, although that person may be an ectomorph and may be slim, depending on what they're eating, they still have the same risk, such as they can still get diabetes, heart disease, and all that stuff, even though their body doesn't look like it from the outside, right?
Mhm.
Now you have a body type, the mesomorph. The mesomorph is someone that's in between. Usually they are muscular, they're a little bulky, they're more shapely, and they're normally in between. Their metabolism is not too high, but it's not too slow either. So they usually have some wiggle room, but again, whatever they eat, they still need to be careful, just like the ectomorph, because at the end of the day, like I always say, it's not so much about the number on the scale, it's simply learning how to live your life green, and that ultimately really determines whether or not you are diagnosed with a chronic related illness. Now, the last part, the last body type is the endomorph, which I'm an endomorph, which I find that most women that I work with and most women that come to me and have been part of my programs, they are endomorphs. They have an issue with consuming certain foods that are high in carbs, high in sugar. And what happens? We hold on to that weight. Why? Because our body type, we don't burn that off fast enough. And so we're more sensitive to weight gain because the ectomorph gains weight faster versus an endomorph and mesomorph because our metabolism is a little slower.
Mhm.
So, for example, potatoes. I'll give you another
Oh, that's
example
my
regarding food,
girl.
right?
That's my love. Potatoes.
Potatoes. We love potatoes. We may love fries, baked potatoes,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case is. So a whole month, I decided to go on a vegan meal. And I said, I want to go on a vegan plant based meal. I really want to try this, right? I really want to try this. And it was great. Don't get me wrong. It was great. I've tried so many different recipes. I was really good at meal prepping and everything. But one week, I had a plant based potato soup that I made. And it was so delicious. And I ate it probably like 3 times during that week. By the end of the week, I was so focused on trying to go down in my weight because that was the goal that I ended up gaining more weight. My
Mm.
numbers ended up going back up. And it's simply because, once again, that is carbs. And so my body doesn't respond to potatoes well. I can't have a whole bunch of potatoes. I cannot have potatoes 3, 4 times a week and think that I'm going to lose weight. No. Even though, once again, that meal is considered healthy and it's considered plant based, my body does not respond to that food well. Why? Because I will hold on to that weight. Even though I was
Mm-hmm.
going to the gym, I was still holding on to that weight. So that's what I mean by paying attention to your body, knowing what foods respond to your body. Another woman that is an ectomorph and very thin, very lean, she could probably have potato soup all throughout that entire week. Her body may just stay the same. She's not going to go up a pound. She's not going to go down a pound. She's just going to stay the same. But me,
Mm-hmm.
I still went up a pound. And it's simply because of how my body is made up. So that's why I always tell people everybody's body is different. We all
Mm-hmm.
have different body types. It's important for you to know your body type. And it's also important for you to figure out what foods respond well to your body. I know usually when I go on a high protein, low carb meal plan, my weight is automatically going to shed. I know that for my body type, and that's for most endomorphs for the most part. But for a mesomorph who's in the middle, who's more shapely and more can more muscular and can put on muscle easier or easily, they put on muscle easily, that may be a different story for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not so much about you having thicker bones or your skeleton may be, thicker than everybody else's. It's more so just knowing your body type and certain foods to eat
Hey,
that
you learn
complements your
something new.
body.
We learn something new every single day, girl. And I just, because for years I've been running around like, well, I just have thicker, because my thighs are thick.
Mhm.
They're thicker than most of the people I know. And so
Yeah.
for me, I always said, hey, I got thick bones.
Yeah, I'm big boned it. That's what they call it.
Yeah,
I'm big
yeah.
boned it.
That's what I say. I'm like, shoot, my calves are big. They're thick. And I like
Mhm.
them thick because I had lost quite a bit of weight, and I didn't like how my neck looked. I prefer to be, not super bone skinny. That doesn't work for my
Yeah.
body at all.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do want to say that although you do find that I promote body positivity and that having like your weight doesn't define you, even for the slim girls that I know, the more skinny girls that I know and communicate with, they too can also promote body positivity because
Absolutely, they sure can. It's
they should, because they too get made fun of, about their bodies and about not being thick enough or not having enough meat on their bones, wanting to look more curvaceous, wanting their breasts to be fuller like a curvier girl like myself or you. So
mm-hmm.
it's like body positivity also represents them as well. It's not really seen that way because for a long time there has been fat shaming, and for a long time those type of women were more so portrayed in the media. But I do just want to say that body positivity can be represented by a slimmer woman who isn't necessarily happy with their body and constantly being told that they need to gain weight.
Yeah, I agree. I think that like no matter what size you are, that like we are all beautiful in our own way. Like
Yeah.
we're all individual. There's nobody else like you. There's nobody else like
Mhm.
me. and
Yeah.
we're all special in our own way. Because I do see people who they look amazing to me, and I'm
Hmm.
happy that they're able to hopefully feel good about themselves, and they're slim, and that's fine. I,
Right.
I just like the promotion of love our bodies, and we don't have to be
Hmm.
like each other. Don't.
Exactly.
So I love like the promotion of thick, bold, and beautiful. We
Thick,
need
bold, and
that.
healthy.
Yeah, thick, bold, and healthy.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
A lot
thick,
of
bold.
women come to me. A lot of women come to me when they first find out about, the movement, the brand. They're normally saying, "Well, Farah, I'm thick and bold, but I ain't healthy." And I'm like, "That's why you come to me. You're thick and bold, but then make you healthy. We help you adopt the healthy habits."
Uh huh. And you can be healthy and thick.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, people get confused and think like you were saying earlier about the different body types, they
Yeah.
qualify as well for those same health
Hmm.
issues.
They do. And usually, I remember like being in high school, and I remember certain girls in my high school, because I felt like I was always like the chubby one in the group, or the heaviest one in the group, always trying to lose weight, always trying to work out. But honestly, there were some thin girls that I used to hang out with, and they would walk up the stairs and be exhausted. They'll be tired, and I remember just going up the stairs, doing my thing, going flights and flights of stairs, and not, being out of breath. And it was simply because I was just active. And at that time in my life, I was very conscious of, still conscious of the foods that I was putting in my mouth. So I always tell people, like, don't judge someone based on their size, because literally you can have a full figured woman and a more slim woman, and that full figure woman can run 3 miles in 30 minutes, in less than 30 minutes, and that slim woman can run 3 miles in more so 45 minutes. And it's just simply because the one conditioned better, she was eating better, and was working out better and was training better, versus the one who was slimmer and didn't really do the work necessary, or just felt like her size would save her from, the race or the competition. And it's just, I just always tell people, like, don't get it twisted. Like, don't judge someone based on how they look.
That is so
Yeah.
true. And so you host a weekly podcast, as you mentioned, and
Yes.
your podcast is called.
The Body of Gold. So my podcast is called The Body of Gold. It's on Apple, Spotify, Radio Public, and Google Play, Google Podcast. And so the podcast really covers body positivity, wellness, nutrition, but in health, but it also talks about other things such as confidence and finances and entrepreneurship and eating disorders, just any and every topic that we put on into the podcast show, or that you hear, it always relates back to health. No matter what, we're always relating it back to health. So if we're talking about finances, we had the Budgetnista on our show, and we're talking about finances with Tiffany Aliche. She's talking about finances as it relates back to your health. If I'm talking about confidence, I'm talking about confidence as it relates back to your health. If I'm talking about entrepreneurship, I'm talking about entrepreneurship back to your health. So definitely check out that podcast. It has helped a lot of women and a lot of people.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm actually a listener.
Yay!
Yeah, I actually listen to the show, and
I'm happy.
guess who actually, one of my guests on my show actually was the one that shared your podcast with me. She's like, "Oh, Farah Green, and she has a
Hmm.
podcast," and she told me, and I was like, "Okay, I'll check it out." It was Tanya Miller.
Yeah, Tanya. Yes. I had her on the show, and we talked about living life unapologetically, even though it was so hard for me to pronounce that word all throughout the show. If you didn't hear that episode, I was like, "Girl, am I saying this word right?" And I was
I
very blunt about it, because I was like, "Look, I don't want nobody coming for me if I'm saying this word right, because I'm oh my, I get tongue tied. Okay, this Brooklyn
yeah.
accent comes out." and sometimes I just get tongue tied.
Yeah, you're fine. I did hear that episode, and you was fine, girl. You was all right. You was all right.
Okay.
Yeah, she was my guest too, and for a show called Get Your Mind Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was good. I enjoyed Tanya. She's funny. She
Yeah,
cracked
she's
me up.
hilarious.
Yeah, so that's awesome that you're doing this, and you actually are going to start back get into the gym for weightlifting. What is that about?
Yeah, so okay, so I just always like had a dream about weightlifting. So okay, one thing about me is that what I'm finding about myself is that I'm very competitive. And so even when it came down to me starting the 5Ks, I would do the 5Ks by myself. Like I would just go out there and be like, "Hey, I'm signed up for a 5K this weekend. I'm gonna just go out there myself and do it to the best of my ability." But while I was like training for 5Ks, I will also weightlift as well. And
Mm-hmm.
I would weightlift just to help my muscles and get conditioned and things like that. Because sometimes I would do that with like obstacle courses. I would do some of the 5Ks. They had obstacle courses where you had to use your upper body as strength to get through the race. And I fell in love with lifting weights. I'm really good at it. I'm really strong. A lot of times when I am training with people, with a trainer, and we're doing circuit trainings and stuff like that, they normally give me heavier weight. They're like, Farah, you could lift more. And I will lift more without any trouble. I would, bench press and squat without any issue. And so as a result of that, just knowing how much my body can take, I was like, yo, I really want to start weightlifting. And I just really want to go hard for it. So I decided that come June 27th, there's a Spartan race that's happening. That's a 3 mile race and it's 20 obstacles. And I said, okay, from then until now, I can train for that race, but I can train by running and weightlifting. And so after I accomplish that race and compete in that, then I'll find a weightlifting competition and solely compete in weightlifting. So my
Wow.
training for that starts for that Spartan race starts next month. Pray for me. I'm nervous. I'm nervous because
Oh
I
yeah.
I have my personal goal. I know a lot of people do it just out of fun and just want to be out there and run, which is great. But I take this type of stuff very seriously, and I
Mm-hmm.
have my own personal goals, and so I am trying to reach them. It's hard, but I know I can do it, and so that's also one of the reasons why I started locking my hair, because I always tell people this represents the woman that I'm becoming along my health and wellness journey, and it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be bumpy, but we're gonna get there.
You, you know what? I have a feeling that I know you're gonna be all right. You're gonna do it.
Yeah,
You're gonna do well, and I'm gonna be here cheering you on. And
thank you.
I have to take my hat off to you, girl. I am like, that is
Thank you.
amazing because I am not a runner.
Yeah, I
And
wasn't a
there,
runner either.
oh, you just
I wasn't
started,
a
just
runner either.
you just decided to just start
Yeah.
running.
Yes.
Wow.
Like I'm telling you, like I had to, and that's one of the things that I talk about in my book is finding your internal challenge. Figuring out the certain things that you want to try to where you're competing with yourself internally, and that internal challenge will get you up every day because you're competing with
Mm.
yourself to be better. And I discussed more of that in my book, but that's what got me to running. Like that's what got me out there. I said there has to be something to get me up every day and to know that there's more to my health. I wasn't a diabetic. I wasn't on high blood pressure pills. My A1C level wasn't high. I was healthy and whole. I just had extra weight on me, and I was mentally I was a mess. And so running was my outlet because it was almost as if running symbolized my freedom from that. So
Mm-hmm.
as a result, that's when I just started running and I fell in love with it. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't like running every single day, but when it comes to a competition, I'm like, okay, put me in, coach, put me in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's awesome. I am not a runner, and I love the fact that you were not one either, and just decided to just do it. It has a lot to do with mindset, the ability
Yeah,
to say I want to do this and follow through, and to not give up. And the fact that
yeah,
you did 5 and 10, that's amazing.
it's difficult, and that just reminds me. Somebody said to me the other day, they said They said something like, Farah, like, I don't know how you do it. Like, I really admire you because things can be going crazy in your life. You may not be at your most happiest right now, but you just find a way to channel that energy, that negativity, and channel that emotion and put it elsewhere into something that you want to do. It's true. Like, sometimes, and this goes for everyone, it's like you can have a whole lot of stuff going on in your life. Your relationship can be broken, you're not getting along with certain family members, your friendships are breaking up, your career's going down. But if you just take
Hey,
all of that
did
negativity,
somebody tell you something about me?
no.
Oh,
No,
okay.
nobody did. But nobody did. I promise you
That
nobody
sound like
did.
my life.
But
Well,
girl, I'm pulling from my experiences right now, like, because these are all the things that I've been through, and it's like I just take that energy and just put it towards building thick, bold, and healthy. Um, doing the competitive races and stuff like that. I take that energy and put it into something positive because if I focus on that and stay on that, I would just go back into a depressed state, and I don't want to get back to that point ever again where I was.
that is
So
awesome
that's
that
why
you
you just got to channel it.
that you're able to understand that now and you know what that feels like. I found myself like not wanting to get up and do anything. And
Mhm.
and people would look at me like, "Well, wait a minute. You got the husband, the kids, the house, you got the fairy tale." Whenever that depression sets in, that stuff is
It
something
don't
that
matter. All
it
that thing is, it's like you can't see your blessings at that point. You're just emotionally off. Like you're just off. I get
yeah.
I totally understand. Like people see me now, like you have the husband, you guys just bought a house, you're young, you're building your business, you're speaking, you're traveling, but it's like, girl, if I ain't happy with myself, I don't care what else is around me. I don't care if you think I got it made.
Yeah, I had to go deep within and do some like
Yeah.
work like on my
Soul
mind.
searching. Mhm.
Yes. So yeah, I can relate to that. Once you've been down that path, it is true you don't want to go back there and you do got to take care of yourself and do things to make
Yeah,
sure that you're okay, you
for
know.
real.
Do like different things to help me. And of course, my connection,
With God.
yes, my connection with God and really helps me a lot. And it's
Yeah.
different than what it used to be. I grew up in the church and it wasn't enough to keep me from falling.
Yeah,
It's a different connection now and it's
it
just
is.
much better and stronger. Now, you mentioned that you're a speaker.
Earlier this year, I said, you know what? I want to speak at different events, different organizations, and at schools. It was so crazy about like a year ago, a year and a half ago, when I started the Think Bold and Healthy movement. I said, one day I just want to be able to speak to people and be able to be in front of crowds and like just get my message across and for people to understand that body positivity and health and wellness is an industry that we all can be a part of, but primarily for women. Like I want women and young girls to really know how to love themselves because I just feel like if I had someone teaching me how to truly and truly love myself at such a young age, I wouldn't have dealt with half of the insecurities that I've dealt with, half of the men that I've dealt with, just half of the health and wellness issues that I dealt with. If I just knew at a young age what I was worthy of and what I am capable of. And so I just started this year, the month of January. I spoke at 3 to 4 schools, I believe. Teaching these young girls that I teach, and when I'm in the classroom and going through my workshop with them, it's so crazy how much I'm just like, wow, like this is really needed in education. Like this is really needed in schools because we really don't know what young girls are really going through nowadays, but we can relate simply because this is a different time, but we can relate. And because social media is there, because of all these other things that are out there, is even harder, and it takes a really big toll on your body image, your self-love, and your health. and they all work together. And so I just started talking at schools, doing book signings. I have a Black author event that's coming up actually this next week. So the month of February, I already have 6 events down. I don't know how I'm gonna get through it.
You'll get through
Um
it. You was made for this, girl. This is your purpose. You
Thank
got
you.
this.
Thank you. I don't know how I'm gonna get through it, and just 2 more dates just came in today. And I'm just like, okay, that may be 8 events, 8 speaking events in the month of February. And once again, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I told myself and I manifested this. And I said to myself, if my husband can go out there and live his purpose for what his purpose is right now, which is to serve our country and him training and, being deployed, I could live my dream too. And that's to build this brand,
Mm-hmm.
that's to build this company to where it needs to be. And I can go out there and speak and touch as many people as I can. And so I said, while you're traveling, I'm going to be speaking. And I'm doing exactly that. He's traveling. I'm at home taking care of the house, but I'm speaking at different locations and traveling as well. So live my dream and just really help women and young girls. Like that is what I'm passionate about.
Well, I think that's freaking awesome, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
That we definitely need to have more people like you. And
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
so if someone wanted to find you, your website, and they wanted you to be their coach, or they wanted you to speak at an event, or they wanted to find out like where can they get your book, can you share with us where they can find you?
Yeah, so you can find me primarily on Instagram at Farah FARAHM Green underscore. So that's Farah M Green underscore. Or you can type in the Curvy Nutritionist on Instagram. You'll find me. I have big curly hair, and when you see my photo, just hit the follow button and we can stay connected. And that link, we can book a session and you can learn more about what it is that I do. Also, you can go to farahmgreen.com to my personal website, and you can visit the TBH Life. That's thetbhlife.com to learn more about the Thick, Bold, and Healthy movement, as well as check out, some of our products that we have as well. And more products are coming out, between the end of this year and next year. But I can't really talk about that yet. That I'm really excited about.
That's
So we'll see how
awesome.
that goes.
I think
Thank
it's
you.
awesome. So you have like t-shirts or sweatshirts right now that are available for people to buy?
Yep. Yep. They're online. I actually have one on right now that says curvy. Yeah, the t-shirts and sweatshirts, they are primarily like my best sellers right now when it comes to product. And
Mm-hmm.
the book too is primarily like my bestseller right now because people are, it's kind of still the new year. Like the first 3 months of the new year is, I consider the new year, and people are like looking for different ways to better their health. So people are starting to, get the book. Even the schools that I speak at, they'll purchase books for their kids too. So, hmm
Mm-hmm. I love it.
thank you. Thank
Wow.
you. Yeah,
Okay.
so check me out, y'all.
12 Steps to Your Body of Gold, the ultimate guide to embracing self love and mastering your health. I'm actually getting the book. And when I get it, I'm going to take a picture of my book and post it on Instagram.
Yes.
And I'm going to tag you.
Yes, please do. Please do, because
Absolutely.
more people have, I don't want people to think that nobody is getting the book. The book is being sold. I get sales with the book, and it's like people sometimes don't want to post it on Instagram. So I would
Mm-hmm.
really, really appreciate that.
I will do it. And you guys, when you pick up your book, 12 Steps to Your Body of Gold, the ultimate guide to embracing self love and mastering your health, you guys need to go ahead and tag Farah and tag me on Instagram.
Yes, please do.
And then I'll
Please
give
do.
you a
Most
shout out.
definitely.
Give you guys a shout out and be like, oh, shoot, such and such got the book, you know?
Yes, definitely. And I will follow y'all back. Like, I talk to everybody. If you message me, DM me on social media, I talk to everyone. I don't ignore people. Like, I literally like love to learn more about the women who are who I'm impacting. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely come show me some love, and I'll show you some love back too.
You know, your podcast is amazing. And so I was like,
Thank you.
I definitely have to, I'm going to invite her to come on to the show to talk to us, to share. So I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you coming on.
I appreciate you for having me. Honestly, anytime I have these authentic conversations with women and people, anytime I get a like, anytime I get a comment, like, I appreciate all of that, because it's like no one is obligated to having me on their show. You know what I mean? Like, no one is obligated to connecting with me on social media. No one is obligated to purchase my book. So it's like anytime that does happen, I appreciate it so much, and it means the world to me. Honestly, I can't really put it into words, but it means a lot.
I understand what you're saying. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that.
Just connect with me on social media so that you can know when our app called the Everything Plus app officially launches. And so that way we can
Hmm.
all be connected in one space.
I love it. That's freaking awesome. You're doing good things,
Thank you.
Farah. You keep on doing
Yes.
that. Keep on. You keep on pressing forward.
It's not about the number on the scale. It's about learning how to live your life green.
I love it. And your
So that's
last
my
name's
quote.
Green.
Yep.
I love it.
That's the crazy part. When I came up with it, I honestly didn't put two and two together. And then I was like, wait, my last name is Green. That's crazy. Yeah, I honestly didn't put two and two together.
That's
But
cool. Farah, I'm catching myself. I'm not going to say good luck. I'm going to say best wishes.
do your best. Like,
Yes, yes.
sometimes good luck, like, it irks me sometimes reading it sometimes. Like, good luck on your business. Good luck on your adventures. It's like, can we not
Yeah.
use that word?
And sometimes it's about people growing and understanding like that luck is like when you're saying, oh, it just happened to fall in my lap, and that it wasn't
Yeah.
intentional, or like it wasn't part of my purpose or my journey. It was like, oh, that was, like winning the lottery or something. And so I did a show where I ended it with, I wish you guys the best of luck. And after that, I was like, oh, I can't even take it down, because
Right?
it's just sometimes we use certain words out of habit, and it's all about like a mindset and retraining our mind to use
Right.
other words and to convey that message differently. And that's a part of what I'm working on. But sometimes, like if I'm in mid sentence and I say something, it almost is what it is, and people have to kind of decode that, you know.
Right.
But I caught it this time. I didn't want to say good luck. I say, hey, best wishes. You're going to be all right. I know that you're going to be fine. And so it's my way of saying, hey, congratulations. I am proud of you, sister.
Thank you.
Yeah, I am. And keep doing what you're doing. And it's good that people get nudge to like move forward in their purpose and their passion. And you're going to be helping so many women in addition to the women that you've already helped. So, and young girls. So that's amazing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Wow, you guys, I really enjoyed the conversation that I had with Farah. I appreciate Farah being open, and she didn't hold back, and I appreciate that. Just showing that she's human and that life happens to all of us. And I love that she was able to move forward in it and came up with the 12 steps to the body of gold and created a website, has a clothing line, and understands that it's not about the scale. It's not about your body shape, but it's about being healthy on the inside, because like she mentioned, you could be big or small, it doesn't matter. It's about being able to make it up a flight of stairs, eating those healthy meals and exercising, and making sure that you're preparing yourself for longevity. I also love the fact that she's going back into the schools and speaking with the young girls and teaching them now that their bodies, it's like we all have different bodies, and they don't have to compare themselves to those bodies on TV, and that they're teaching them now to love themselves and all about being healthy. So I love that. And it is all about reaching back and helping our youth, because that's our future. That is our future. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate your support. And you know what, you guys? I'm actually getting myself together as we speak. I am going through a program where I am learning how to rethink these meals through where they're much healthier. So I'm excited to reveal, once I get to that point, the new me. So I worked on the inside and now I'm working on the outside. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in. I'm Shanta with Authentic Talks.
It's not about the number on the scale. It's about learning how to live your life green.